Taehyung finally speaks out. The reason he left LA because of HYBE makes Jungkook emotional. Before we dive deep into this emotional unraveling, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because what we're about to reveal might not stay up forever. This is the side of fame they never wanted you to see. It began with a whisper. Taehyung had been unusually quiet during BTS's hiatus, not entirely absent, just muted. While Jungkook explored solo music and RM gave philosophical interviews, Taehyung's social media became cryptic. A photo here, a vintage jazz tune there. But no interviews. No lives. No explanations. And then he left LA. Without warning, without fanfare, just gone. One day he was spotted sipping espresso in a West Hollywood cafe. The next, an airport sighting. Dark hoodie. Sunglasses. Alone. Why would someone like Taehyung, who often spoke of his love for LA, for the art, the space to breathe, the anonymity, suddenly walk away? The official narrative? Schedule changes. But fans, especially ARMY, have learned to read between the lines. And there were clues. Taehyung isn't the type to start fires, but he leaves ashes. A deleted Instagram story, just seconds long, showed him playing the piano, eyes closed, with a caption in Korean that translated roughly to, "Some things should have stayed between us." Within minutes, it vanished. But not before thousands of fans captured it. Screenshots lit up Twitter. What was he talking about? It wasn't long after that fans noticed a rift, not within the members themselves, but something colder. More corporate. HYBE, the behemoth behind BTS, had been making waves. Strategic moves. Acquisitions. New artists. An empire was rising, but at what cost? It was in Los Angeles that Taehyung reportedly had meetings. Not just with producers or collaborators, but with people HYBE didn't approve of. A director known for his anti-label stance. A photographer blacklisted by multiple agencies for refusing to censor his art. And then came the turning point. In a leaked memo, one that spread like wildfire before being scrubbed off most platforms, there were mentions of artist behavior not aligning with company directives. No names were given, but it wasn't hard to connect the dots. Taehyung had always been different. He wasn't just the visual of BTS. He was the mystery. The soul. The artist who listened to Ella Fitzgerald, who wore Thom Browne suits in dusty vintage cafés, who took photos of crumbling buildings and sunsets over empty train tracks. To HYBE, was he becoming unpredictable? And that's where things get even more unsettling. Insiders, anonymous but eerily consistent in their stories, claimed that Taehyung was asked to pause certain projects. Projects he'd poured his heart into. An independent short film. A jazz-inspired EP. A collaboration with a non-Korean artist HYBE had previously distanced themselves from. They wanted him to wait. He wanted to fly. When Taehyung left LA, it wasn't just a change of scenery. It was an act of defiance. But what hit hardest, what brought Jungkook to tears, according to someone who witnessed it firsthand, was the letter. A handwritten letter from Taehyung, delivered quietly, personally, not by PR or email or manager. Just him. The letter wasn't angry. It wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. Poetic. Full of love, but also full of pain. It spoke of how fame had started to feel like a prison. How the people he trusted to protect his dreams began shaping them instead. How art had become content. Jungkook, the youngest, the golden magne, read the letter backstage at a studio in Seoul. He didn't speak for a long time. And when he did, all he could say was, "He didn't even tell me." because sometimes, the deepest sadness isn't caused by betrayal, it's caused by silence. Why didn't Taehyung tell Jungkook? Maybe because he didn't want to pull him into it. Maybe because the pain was too personal. Or maybe, he knew Jungkook would try to stop him. In one emotional livestream weeks later, one most fans thought was just a casual check-in, Jungkook played an old BTS song, one he and Taehyung used to joke about during their trainee days. He didn't say a word about the meaning. But the look in his eyes said everything. And here's where the story takes a darker turn. A former HYBE associate, who no longer works with the label, recently gave an anonymous interview to an independent podcast. Their voice was altered, their identity hidden, but what they said left listeners chilled. Taehyung was becoming a liability. Not because he was reckless, but because he was honest. He started questioning things. The contracts. The creative control. The future. What do you do with someone like that, in an industry built on silence? You isolate them. Slowly. Quietly. So no one notices until they're already gone. But Taehyung noticed. And he left. What he left behind wasn't just a city or a contract. It was a system. One that fans are now starting to question more than ever. And now, he's speaking out. Not through interviews or press releases. But through art. Through coded lyrics, melancholic visuals, and the raw emotion in his newest unreleased track, a track insiders say was recorded just days before he left LA. A snippet leaked online. Only 23 seconds. But it sent shockwaves through the fandom. In it, his voice is low, almost broken. He sings. They told me what I should be, but I was born as me. They lit the stage, but I couldn't see. What does this mean for BTS? For Jungkook? For the future of the group as we know it? So, the next time you hear Taehyung hum a tune that feels like a memory, or see Jungkook pause before answering a simple question, ask yourself, what aren't they allowed to say? And more importantly, what will they risk to finally say it? Art begins where the rules end. Kim Taehyung. Thanks for watching. If this story moved you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Where do you think this path leads for BTS? Is this a new beginning, or a silent goodbye? We'll be watching.